In the quaint town of Briarwood, where autumn leaves blanketed the cobblestone streets in hues of crimson and gold, Nora Callahan, 32, stepped into the warm glow of Sweet Briar Bakery, a family-run shop fragrant with the scent of freshly baked pastries. Once a high-powered project manager navigating corporate chaos in Boston, Nora had traded boardrooms for brioche when she met Owen Hartley, the bakery's heir, 2 years ago. Their romance, sparked at a food festival where Owen's cinnamon rolls stole her heart, led her to leave her city life and join him in Briarwood. Now, as the bakery's financial manager, Nora had turned the struggling shop into a thriving local gem, her knack for numbers breathing new life into its ledgers. "Morning, love," Owen greeted her one November Monday in 2025, his hazel eyes crinkling as he dusted flour from his apron. The bakery buzzed with early customers, the air sweet with vanilla and caramel. Nora smiled, her dark hair pulled into a practical bun. "Morning. Sales are up, those pumpkin tarts are flying off the shelves." She flipped through the mail, bills, mostly, which she'd mastered managing. Owen shrugged, his grin boyish. "All you're doing, isn't it? Mom still thinks I'm the baking prodigy." His laugh was light, but Nora caught a flicker of unease in his tone. As if on cue, Marjorie Hartley swept in, her floral scarf trailing like a banner. At 60, Marjorie was Briarwood's self-appointed matriarch, her family's bakery a point of pride. "Owen, my dear, the shop's never looked better," she exclaimed, hugging her son. Her gaze slid to Nora, her smile tightening. "Still fussing with numbers, Nora? Leave that to the accountants and help Owen with the real work." Nora's jaw tightened, but she kept her voice even. "Good morning, Marjorie. Those numbers are keeping us profitable." Marjorie waved a dismissive hand. "Details, dear. Owen's the heart of this place." Nora exhaled, unwilling to let Marjorie's barbs derail her. She'd grown used to the older woman's condescension, her belief that Nora, an outsider with no baking pedigree, was merely playing manager. Owen slipped an arm around Nora's waist, a quiet gesture of support. "Nora's killing it, Mom. We're doing great because of her." Marjorie sniffed, unconvinced. "As long as my boy's happy," she said, flouncing off to rearrange a display of scones. Owen squeezed Nora's side. "Don't mind her," he murmured. Nora nodded, forcing a smile. "Let's just focus on the bakery." Under Nora's stewardship, Sweet Briar had become a Briarwood staple, its glass cases filled with eclairs, macarons, and Owen's signature rolls. Customers raved, and profits climbed, a testament to Nora's meticulous budgeting. She'd left behind a life of corporate firefighting, managing PR disasters and untangling financial knots, for this sweeter world, believing it was her and Owen's shared dream. But Marjorie's constant meddling cast a shadow. "This counter's too cluttered," she'd critique, or, "Nora, stick to spreadsheets, not strategy." Nora swallowed her frustration, her love for Owen and the bakery keeping her tethered. Flash back to their meeting. Nora, then 30, stood at a Boston food festival, sampling Owen's cinnamon roll. "This is divine," she'd said, catching his eye. He'd grinned, flour on his cheek. "Made with love. I'm Owen." Their banter flowed, her corporate polish meeting his small-town warmth. 6 months later, she moved to Briarwood, and within a year, they were engaged. Marjorie, at their engagement party, had toasted with a tight smile, to Owen's bold choice. Nora had hoped to win her over, but Marjorie's disapproval only grew, her vision of Owen as the bakery's sole star leaving no room for Nora's contributions. Now, as Nora balanced the books, she noticed Owen's growing nonchalance. He'd once pored over her financial plans, but lately, he deferred to Marjorie's instincts. "Mom says the new oven's fine," he'd say, dismissing Nora's concerns about its flickering pilot light. Nora's corporate instincts, checked twice, planned thrice, clashed with the Hartleys' cavalier approach. One evening, as she locked the register, a delivery arrived, a sleek espresso machine, its price tag staggering. "Owen, another purchase?" she asked, holding up the box. He grinned, unboxing it. "It'll class up the place. We deserve nice things, Nora." Her stomach twisted. The oven needs fixing first, she said, but Owen waved her off. It's fine. Relax. Marjorie's extravagance didn't help. She'd breeze in with new jewelry or designer coats, boasting about her finds. Nora, isn't this scarf divine, she'd say, twirling in a silk number that cost more than a week's profits. Nora's polite nods hid her growing worry. The bakery's success was fragile, its margins thin, and every lavish purchase chipped away at their stability. Owen's shrugs, "We're fine, Nora," only deepened her unease. As autumn leaves fell outside, Nora felt the first cracks in the paradise she'd built, her dream of a shared future with Owen teetering under the weight of his family's recklessness. The cracks in Nora's world widened as autumn deepened in Briarwood. Deliveries arrived weekly, not of flour or sugar, but of luxuries, a high-end coffee grinder, a leather armchair for the bakery's corner, even a custom sign Marjorie insisted on, despite the old one's functionality. Nora's spreadsheets screamed warning signs. Profits were eroding, eaten by purchases she hadn't approved. "Owen, we need to talk budgets," she said one evening, her laptop open to a grim forecast. He glanced up from his phone, where he was eyeing a new watch. "We're doing great, Nora. Don't stress." His dismissal stung, echoing Marjorie's belief that numbers were her domain, not his. Marjorie's next move was a bombshell. On a busy Tuesday, as Nora sorted inventory, Marjorie waltzed in with a young woman in tow. "Nora, meet Lily," she announced, her smile triumphant. "She'll assist with the business side." Lily, barely 22, offered a tepid handshake, her eyes darting to Marjorie. "I'm not just an assistant," Nora said, wiping flour from her hands. "I'm co-manager." Marjorie's laugh was sharp. "You do your part, dear, but Lily's here to lighten your load." Nora's gut twisted. Marjorie hadn't consulted her, and Owen's sheepish nod confirmed he'd known. Lily's assistance was a farce. She lingered near the register, scrolling her phone or chatting with Owen, her tasks minimal. When Nora saw her salary, higher than her own for half the work, she confronted Owen. "This is unsustainable," she said, showing him the payroll. He shrugged, flour dusting his apron. "Mom says Lily's got potential." Nora's frustration flared. "We agreed to discuss hires together." Owen's eyes avoided hers. "It's done, Nora. Mom's got a good feeling." The phrase was a knife, slicing through their partnership. Nora's corporate instincts kicked in. She audited the books late at night, her desk lamp casting shadows over receipts. The numbers didn't lie, expenses were ballooning, profits shrinking. Then, buried in a misfiled folder, she found it, a loan agreement, Sweet Briar listed as collateral, the sum enough to buy a small house. Her heart raced as she stormed into Owen's cluttered office. "What is this?" she demanded, thrusting the papers at him. His face paled, guilt flickering. "It's a loan for upgrades," he mumbled. "Upgrades?" Nora's voice rose. "This could sink us." "What did you spend it on?" Owen hesitated, then admitted, "Some went to the house I'm fixing up, for us." Nora's laugh was bitter. "For us? Or for your toys and Marjorie's wardrobe?" Marjorie, overhearing, barged in. "How dare you question my son," she snapped, snatching the papers. "This is for the family's future." Nora stood her ground. "I've kept this bakery alive while you two treat it like a cash machine. This loan is reckless." Marjorie's eyes narrowed. "You're just the bookkeeper, Nora. Know your place." The words cut deep, but Nora's resolve hardened. "My place is saving this business from your mistakes." The tension boiled over at a makeshift meeting around the bakery's back table. Marjorie, Owen, and Nora sat, the air thick with unspoken accusations. "We need to address the debt," Nora said, her voice steady. Marjorie leaned forward, her earrings glinting. "You have that trust fund from your aunt, Nora. It could clear the loan, save the bakery." Nora's breath caught. Her aunt's modest inheritance was her safety net, untouched since her corporate days. "You want my personal funds?" she asked, incredulous. Owen shifted uncomfortably. "It's just sitting there, Nora. We're family. Marjorie nodded. It's your duty. Nora's heart sank. Duty? I've poured everything into this place. If I use my trust, I want a third of the bakery, official co-ownership. Marjorie's laugh was venomous. Co-owner? You're not cut out for it. Owen stayed silent, his betrayal louder than words. Nora stood, her chair scraping. Then find another way. My money isn't your lifeline. She left, the weight of their greed pressing on her chest. Late that night, unable to sleep, Nora drove to the bakery. A faint light glowed from the office, odd for midnight. Pushing open the door, the bell's jingle felt ominous. Voices drifted from the back, Owen's low murmur, Lily's giggle. Nora's heart pounded as she peered through the office door. Owen's arms were around Lily, her laughter soft as he whispered in her ear. Nora stepped in, the door creaking. They sprang apart, Owen's face a mask of shock. Nora, it's not, he stammered. Not what it looks like, she cut in, her voice cold. It looks like you're cheating with the assistant your mother hired. Lily mumbled, I'm sorry, her eyes on the floor. Nora ignored her, focusing on Owen. Midnight inventory, Owen? Save it. She turned to Lily. You're fired. Clear out by morning. Owen protested, you can't, I can, Nora snapped. I've run this place while you've run it into the ground. I'm done. She walked out, Owen's pleas fading behind her. The autumn air was sharp, but Nora felt a strange clarity. The bakery, her dream with Owen, was crumbling, but she wasn't ready to let it, or herself, fall. The morning after catching Owen with Lily, Nora woke in her rental cottage, the one she'd kept as a fallback. Her phone buzzed with a message from Owen, a bank notice labeled Final Demand, demanding immediate loan repayment, paired with a plea, we need to talk. This is bad. Nora typed back, at the bakery in 30, and steeled herself for confrontation. At Sweetbriar, Marjorie and Owen waited, their faces tense. Marjorie's eyes flashed as Nora entered. Decided to grace us with your presence, she sneered. Nora ignored her, addressing Owen. Show me the notice. He handed her the letter, the numbers stark, the bank was poised to seize the bakery. What's your plan? Nora asked. Marjorie cut in, if you'd used your trust fund, we wouldn't be here. Nora's laugh was sharp. You mean the trust you wanted for your son's side projects and Lily's salary? Owen ran a hand through his hair. Nora, we could lose everything. Just pay it off. Nora's eyes narrowed. And what? Watch you blow the next loan. You hid it from me, Owen. You cheated. Marjorie scoffed. You're overreacting about Lily. This is about family. Nora turned on her. Family? You've treated me like an outsider since day one. I'm done bailing you out. Marjorie's smile was cold. Then you're out. We'll manage without you. You're fired. Owen's jaw dropped. Mom, she's right, Marjorie snapped. She's a liability. Nora met Marjorie's gaze, her voice calm. Fine. But I've got proof of every cent you've misspent, receipts, loan papers, photos of you and Lily. Fire me, and I'll make sure the bank knows why this place is failing. Marjorie's face paled, but she said nothing. Nora walked out, her heart pounding with defiance. She moved fully into her cottage, hiring a lawyer, Ms. Clara Evans, to protect her interests. You've got leverage, Clara said, reviewing Nora's evidence. The Hartleys can't touch your trust, and their mismanagement is documented. Nora nodded, her corporate instincts resurfacing. She wasn't just fighting for herself, she was reclaiming her future. Days later, a call from Clara brought unexpected news. Nora's aunt's trust included a clause, a portion could fund a community project. Inspired, Nora researched local initiatives, settling on Briarwood's Community Center, which offered job training for struggling residents. She met its director, Sarah Klein, whose passion for second chances resonated. We help people rebuild, Sarah said. Nora committed funds to expand the center, a spark of purpose igniting within her. As the Hartleys scrambled, Nora prepared to walk away. But Marjorie made one last play, cornering her at the cottage. "You're ruining us," she hissed. "Use the trust, or Owen loses everything." Nora stood firm. "You ruined yourselves. I'm done." Marjorie's eyes blazed, but she left, defeated. Nora felt a weight lift. She was no longer the Hartley scapegoat. Months later, Briarwood's winter gave way to a crisp spring. Nora sat in her new office, a sleek space in Boston where she'd revived her career as a crisis consultant. Her desk was piled with client files, businesses facing their own reckonings, each a puzzle she solved with precision. The chaos of Sweetbriar was a distant memory, replaced by the hum of strategy and solutions. A call from Ellie, a former bakery employee, brought news. "Sweetbriar closed," she said. "The bank foreclosed. Owen and Marjorie moved to his cousin's place. It's rough." Nora leaned back, the closure bittersweet. "Thanks for telling me," she said. Ellie hesitated. "You were the bakery's backbone, Nora. It fell apart without you." Nora smiled softly. "I'm okay, Ellie. Found my place." Her place was multifaceted. The Briarwood Community Center's new wing, Nora's Path, opened with fanfare, offering coding classes and job placement. At the ribbon cutting, Sarah hugged her. "You've given people hope," she said. Nora reconnected with old colleagues, their lunches filled with laughter, not ledgers. She even took up baking, not for profit, but for joy, her kitchen now a haven for experimenting with recipes. One spring evening, Owen appeared at her office, his face worn. "Nora, I messed up," he said, his voice raw. "Lily was a mistake. The loan, Mom, everything. Can we try again?" Nora studied him, seeing the man she'd loved, but feeling only resolve. "You chose your path, Owen. I've chosen mine. Good luck." She walked away, her heart steady. Marjorie's last attempt came via a letter, an apology laced with pleas for help. "I was wrong to dismiss you," she wrote. Nora read it, then set it aside. Forgiveness was possible, but trust was not. She'd learned to protect her peace. The community center's first job fair was a triumph, Briarwood's residents filling the halls. Nora stood beside Sarah, watching a young woman land her first coding job. "You've changed lives," Sarah said. Nora smiled, her corporate polish now softened by purpose. Her days, once sweetened by pastries, were now fueled by impact. As spring bloomed outside, Nora knew the bitter trials of Sweetbriar had led to her sweetest victory, a life she'd built, one resilient step at a time.